Welcome, 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 everyone. Can we all settle down? Moshat. Royal greetings. Are we all settled? Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to our African New Year celebration program. Redumisa kamkana lona dikhoji tsa rona re moshate. Thobela. Le kae na? Greetings also to the deputy ministers. Greetings to all protocols observed. Hanchi, we don't want to mention names because I might forget who's who and I might be chastised in terms of that. So I'm welcoming everyone here in the African New Year celebration, our first of its kind. We are very happy and delighted that we have all of you here. We are really blessed that we have all of you that are here. We will be calling upon King Ntai Malachi of the Baroka clan to come and address us with opening remarks. Chris, since we do not have Ntate Ntai Malachi, we'll call upon Chris Ntuli, Northwest Chairperson of TECSA, to come and give us some opening remarks.
Thank you, Master of Ceremony, for allowing me this golden opportunity. The time in history, the beginning of the year in African calendar, to welcome all members here present today. First of all, royal greetings to His and Her Excellencies, His and Her Majesties, Prince and Princesses, all honorable members of government, non-government, royal kingdoms, tribal authorities, traditional leaders, political and ordinary members of the society. Ula. I'm really honored to welcome all in this event that marks the birth of Royal 20. That is intended to raise the suppressed voice of royal and the royalness, a moment to reflect and put a footprint of African leadership on the table. Let's welcome all speakers, facilitators here present. Last but not least, to invite all to the engagement of the day, as will be outlined from time to time today. Tobela, Moshate, Pula.
Chris, Ndade Chris says that I can't go lololole. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of work that I need to go do. There's people that I need to usher and all of that. Thank you, Chris Ntuli, Northwest Chairperson of TECSA. Without wasting any time, we will call upon again Ntaten Tai Malachi if it's here from the Baroka clan. Baroka clan, if you are here. While we wait for Baroka clan, I think it's only proper that we all stand up since Ntate Chris Ntuli has given his open remarks. We all stand up and sing our national anthem. Imithanda zo yethu iyelele bathi inkosi sikelela uzamoya I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Oza. Sigelela Murena buluga Sichaba sa Yesu Ufelice Ditwali matswenye Thank you, ladies and gents. You may be seated. Now we are officially starting. The one that is standing in front of you here, the name is Douglas Gomba. Obviously, some of you thought I'm not going to introduce myself again. The name is Douglas and the surname is Gomba, and I'm one of the ministers in SCAL. We welcome you. Pula. Pula. Hagulutri. Hokara halena matla so. Pula. Amen. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Bommeralutana. Bommeralutana. Borreba batengna. Borreba tengna. Maribua Pula. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's a beautiful day today, an excellent day today. Once again, the one that is standing in front of you here is Douglas, and the surname is Gomba. And I'm welcoming all the kingdoms. Today is about the kingdoms. Today is about celebrating what the kingdoms are doing for the people. And importantly so, it's celebrating what TECSA and SCAL and all the partnership that have partnered with are going to share with each and every single one of you the visions, the missions that they're going to embark on. We all know one important thing is, Mahosi, I can say it. Some will say we don't have a voice. Some will say they've never heard us. They don't want to hear us. But here's the deputy minister saying, I'm here. We don't need to fight with anyone. No kingdom is going to fight. We're going to collaborate. We're going to create our own ways of working. We're going to create ways to ensure that things that the kingdoms wants to do and each and every single project that the kingdoms are going to do to the communities that they serve. Organjani Mama, do you agree?
Viva Africa.
But Viva Africa, viva!
Viva.
Yes. I'm going to call upon Mr. Mark Setole to come and share with us also the purpose of the day. Mr. Mark Setole. Thank you, Mark.
All protocol observed. Your Majesties, Royal Highnesses, esteemed Deputy Ministers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I must thank you, Douglas. I was a bit worried when the crowd was so cold singing such a beautiful song. And then you did the job for me. I think people are a little bit alive. I think sometimes we sing through such songs and we don't really think about what it means. It's the honor that comes with such an occasion. And I'm glad that in the national anthem, it actually does ask God to be with us. That's my first port of call. I just want to give all honor to our Creator upstairs for this opportunity to speak and to give honor to also the kings and queens of our land. It is a profound honor to stand before you on this auspicious day. I want to extend heartfelt gratitude to the Master of Ceremonies. Douglas, thank you so much, sir. Really appreciate it. Royal Highness, King Tai Malachi. I would like to thank Mr. Chris Ntuli as well. Thank you so much, sir, for the opening remarks. We are gathered here today, ladies and gentlemen, not just for a celebration, but for a moment of profound purpose and a turning point in Africa's history. I think we all realize that in 2025, the whole world is looking at Africa, and they're seeing that this is the future of this entire world. When you look at all the strife that's taking place across the world, you realize that there's one peaceful region where people still have the spirit of Ubuntu and unity. and that is in here in Africa. The presence of so many revered leaders from our traditional monarchs to our government officials, once again, thank you, Deputy Ministers. We really appreciate your presence. It's such an honor to have you, to take all the time out of your diaries to come and celebrate with us and give respect where respect is due. As we honor our ancestors in the rich heritage of the African New Year, we're also here to frame the vision that will guide our path forward. Today I've been tasked with the job of making sure that we outline exactly why we're here and what we're all about. We've got a vision that is encapsulated in the Royal 20 agenda as a pioneering initiative born from the strategic foresight of SCAL and TECSA. Royal 20 is a G20 aligned engagement group. Our core mandate is to give a formal, structured, and powerful voice to the traditional monarchs of Africa within the global development discourse. I think it's important that we make it very clear that the whole point of such an occasion cannot just be about here and now, but it's about what we're planning for the future. We would like to see more involvement of our kings and queens and the royalties and monarchs in everything that we do in all our decision making. And I would like to once again thank the government for coming and partnering with us. And I think I would like for us to just give a round of applause to our government officials for coming through. I would also like to thank all the royalties, and obviously through you, the president of SCAL, Dr. Thabo. Thank you so much, sir, for allowing us to use your venue to give honor where it's due. Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate your hospitality. For too long, the wisdom of our thrones has been overlooked by global systems. The Royal 20 is here to change that. It is a living institution of African sovereignty and sustainable development, ensuring that our monarchs, the true custodians of our land, our resources and our people, are not just protectors of heritage, but are also active architects of our future. This means their voices will be central to conversations on trade, climate, education, and investment. This celebration is also about another powerful theme, Vision 2040. This is not a distant theoretical concept. It is a roadmap for how we will rebuild Africa. It is a call to action for every kingdom, every community, and every individual to participate in a collective vision of prosperity. It is about aligning our ancestral wisdom with modern policies to create a governance model that is inclusive, resilient, and rooted in our values of Ubuntu, custodianship, and solidarity. Today's program is a microcosm of this vision in action. From the special address by our BRICS partners to the panel discussion on rebuilding Africa, which I really would like to encourage all of us to actually attend for that discussion. We look forward to actually sharing ideas on how we're going to change Africa through the inclusion of our monarchs. We are building relationships, unlocking partnerships, and positioning our leaders in spaces of global influence. As the COO of Mashudu Tinyiko Consulting, I am immensely proud to support this initiative. We are committed to ensuring that our aspirations are matched with action, that this movement of thrones and solutions translates into tangible progress for all our people. Let this African New Year be a reminder that we're not just turning a calendar page, but we're actually turning history itself. The Royal 20 is a chapter where Africa writes itself back into the narrative of power and progress. We are here to declare with one voice that Africa has risen. Thank you.
Thank you, my good sir. What a speech. I think the keynotes there is taking back what's ours. Okara, you don't agree with me. Oh, Wabatong. You were supposed to, you late for him when he leaves the stage. You were supposed to clap your hands and say, oh, gentlemen, allow you can't. They're giving us a vision to say, in today's world, in today's life, Africa, when you take Africa, Africa is the biggest continent. It can take 17 million square meters. It can take up to 30 countries inside, in J. Just take all those 30 countries. Do you understand how big we are? Do you understand how powerful we are as a continent? Mara, do you understand me, Mara? Do you hear me? Do you see the vision that our president of SCAL, together with every single person that they have? My kingdoms are here. Maybe they will understand me. Maybe you guys don't understand me. My good sir. Anything from you?
Yeah, we are glad to be here, and we like to appreciate the president of SCAL, Mr. Prof. Thabo Mbuyane, for making sure that this day this go beyond, because it's been a long time that we as an African leaders, we are not taking very serious. Our land is being stolen and is gone. We want our land back.
I must just correct something. The land has not been stolen. It has always been ours. But we are now finalizing each and every single steps to say the land is and will always be and always has been ours. Ladies and gentlemen, can we all, as a gesture of goodwill, welcome the Rain Queen, Queen Mujaji is here. Pula! Rere Pula! Thank you, ladies and gents. Welcome once again to our Rain Queen, Queen Mujaji. I would like to call upon Tuat Nhlati as an ambassador to BRICS. Kiss Tuat. Hey, I'm African, please, guys.
Thobela bommele bontate manene na manenekazi, ladies and gentlemen, madam and messieurs here and dame, good afternoon. Ka Setswana ba re pilediwa ya lwelwa. I also decided to respond to the call to be here this afternoon on this special occasion. Program director, distinguished guest, monarchs, kings and queens, ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to be here on this occasion, and I'm particularly delighted to be joining you this afternoon to offer our message of support and endorse this all-important event. It is a privilege to address you today, not only as the South African BRICS ambassador, but also as a fellow African that is passionate about Africa. Nothing about Africa without Africans. Yeah. We stand at an important crossroad across the world with alliances like the BRICS bloc, which are reshaping the global agenda and the global developmental spheres. And yet, here in Africa, we know that the most powerful alliance of all begins at home, when we bring together our traditional leaders, our governments, our business, communities, and our dearest people. That is why Royal 20 is such a historic step forward. For the first time in history, Africa's monarchs are not only observers of global conversations, but rather active participants of shaping the world of tomorrow, influencing them and ensuring that our heritage and wisdom is heard and protected in light of the world stage. As BRICS, we have spoken of many ways around solidarity, inclusion, and sustainable development. But Royal 20 shows us what it looks like in practice. A model where ancestral wisdom meets innovation, where our cultural custodians become central to governance, and where solutions to poverty, unemployment, and inequality are built from the ground up. We remain passionate about advancing the interest of our people. My message today is very simple, ladies and gentlemen. As Africa, we must fight for African interest. Africa's voice matters. I repeat, the voice of Africa matters. Our tradition matters. Our very own people matters. And through platforms such as Royal 20, we are saying to the world, Africa is not behind. Africa needs to be heard, because Africa is ahead of time, showing how heritage and progress can work hand in hand. As the ambassador of BRICS, I will continue to ensure that Royal 20's vision, that's their incredible vision 2040, is reflected in our BRICS agenda, in our BRICS engagement, from municipalities to villages, to cities to metropolises, to continental and global platforms and agendas. Because true development must reach every corner of our societies, not just the big cities. Let us live here united, determined, and proud to walk this path together from our thrones and from our communities to the global stage. Ndiyabulela, Amaku.
Thank you, Ntate Nhlati. Without wasting time, keywords all the time: solidarity, sustainability. Very important. I would like to call upon the Zulu Kingdom, His Royal Highness King Ulelani from the Zulu Kingdom.
Good afternoon. May I start by acknowledging the royal families gathered here, as represented firstly by the kings and queens who have graciously blessed us with their presence here. I stand before you as an accident of fate because His Majesty, the monarch of the Zulu King, had been invited and had accepted. And he conveys his message to you, President, that he really would have loved to be here. But there's a very equally weighty appointment tomorrow with Umkosi Welembe, where the Royal House and by extension His Majesty are involved with. So to that extent, my first delivery is to extend His Majesty's apologies for his inability to attend. But he's elected to send me as one of his subjects, the many subjects that are across the kingdom, to come and represent the kingdom and also convey the kingdom's message of support to this initiative, which is very important. It's an accident of fate because I happen to be a subject of the Zulu kingdom, and by extension of being close to the venue as I live around the corner, the king then said, look, you are my foot soldier on the ground. You will go and represent us. So it's an assignment I take with great humility and given the weight of the principle behind the name of the Zulu kingdom in the person of His Majesty King Misuzulu. Having said that, I think let me have the permission to ride on the protocols already observed by previous speakers so that I do not waste a lot of your time and get to the main message that His Majesty would like to deliver this afternoon. The first one, I think, is for me to get myself some insurance or disclaimer to say, if the message lands very well, those are the King's words. If the message doesn't land very well and there's something wrong with it, those are my words. So with that insurance, I can now proceed. The importance of this gathering to the Zulu Kingdom, I think it's important that we highlight that. And I think in highlighting the weight that the Zulu Kingdom puts in cooperation with other nations, I think it's important that we first come to a landing of common ground of how we understand traditional leadership or how we understand our kingdoms. So I will use a very simple analogy, which is, a cow, which every cultural man must have at least 3 or 5 of, So we all relate with a cow. But in African culture, a cow has got 3 significances, in terms of how we use cows in our societies. So the first significance of a cow is the fact that it's social currency. It's typically what we use to engage, to get into weddings, and so forth. You will all understand if you're African that that's the currency we use over there. So from a social point of view, from a social significance point of view, this is what our kingdoms represent. The kingships and the queens that we have actually represent the social glue that keeps the nations together. And I think it's very important that we highlight this fact because by nature, cultural leadership or traditional leadership is not political. It is where all political persuasions find a home. I can exemplify that with the Zulu kingdom or with any other kingdom. So you can have any labels, as a people under a nation, whether they be political or business. But when it comes to our kings and our queens, we all get to be united without those labels. And I think that's currency that we should not let go to waste, especially in a world that is divided and polarized over a lot of labels. So our salvation really comes from us recognizing the soft power and that power that sits with our kings that no politician has. And it's not a dig at politicians. Politicians have got their own special space in running the country. I guess the message really is to say, you who are chosen by divine providence or by divinity to be our kings and queens and traditional leaders in various forms, need to appreciate the fact that under you, there is no division, and under you is where the collective power of any nation sits. So it is a very powerful uniting factor that we need to take into account going forward in terms of our development, because the uniting factor of any nation is our traditional leadership. And I think it's important to also stay there and say that by virtue of that attribute, our traditional leadership is non-political and will always be non-political. And that's something that needs to be respected, because the non-political nature of our traditional leadership gives us the power, or gives the leadership, the traditional leadership, the power and the independence to support things that are going well in the political space, but to equally have a voice, an independent voice that says we are not in support of things that do not support our communities. So the primary aim of this gathering, as we understand it from the Zulu Kingdom, is to say, how do we harness that collective power that sits across all the different nations in this country, so that the collective can then be a force for good in terms of us addressing some of the biggest challenges that we face in our time. I'll touch a little bit on that. Let me just finish on the other two pillars. So there's this social element that our cows represent, but most importantly now, there's the economic aspect. Our cows have always been a store of value. So again, any African-based community will understand that traditionally and historically, that has always been our store of value in addition to the land. So what does that mean symbolically? It means symbolically that our traditional leaders, our kings, our queens, izinduna zethu, amakhosi ethu, are actually the nation's bank account. And that's what it's always been in the past. So all the land, the cows that used to sit under a king were sitting in trust of the whole nation. And if we are to observe African culture as we are doing now in terms of celebrating the African New Year, I think it's important that we take on board the significance of traditional leadership so that we do not lose it, and also as a point of departure to political leadership. So in terms of the old order, which is what all the wars were fought for, it was really to preserve the old order. In terms of the old order, the traditional leadership is our insurance, it's our safety net, it's our trust. That's the trust of the nation, or the trust account of the nation. So what that simply means is that in a world where there's high unemployment, there's a lot of tension, geopolitics and uncertainty, and especially the high unemployment, and you could also link that to poverty and crime. We have a society that is heavily reliant on business interventions from organized business, and also from government interventions from a public sector point of view, which is well and good because that's what the Constitution provides. But when these two pillars fail, or when they've got challenges, whether it's inefficiency challenges, or whether it's resource challenges or growth challenges as we're facing with businesses now, it simply means that a nation has got no emergency or go-to plan other than these two. And we're actually sitting now in a situation where globally a lot of companies are failing, retrenching, and also globally a lot of governments are finding challenges in terms of distribution of resources to their communities. So we now sit with a situation where a lot of this unemployment, a lot of this poverty is actually sitting in the communities that are under our kings and queens and izinduna and amakhosi. But they do not have a mandated resource budget to address these on the same level as you would equate, say, with the corporate world or the public sector. So what this really calls for is to say, is there a way we can, under our traditional leadership, find a plan B or C to complement? It's never to go or compete for political power or business power, to complement the existing interventions that are there, so that there can be some tangible results on the ground. So from a Zulu Kingdom point of view, and again, like I said, if this lands very well, it's from the principle. If it doesn't, I'll take ownership of that. So from a Zulu Kingdom perspective, one of the major things that's keeping His Majesty preoccupied and concerned is the fact that there's a whole lot of youth in the country who are unemployed, who have no prospects. In fact, a lot of them have gone through the whole process of acquiring qualifications and so on. But for the last 30 years, we've got enough data that says that there's not enough absorption or enough opportunities being created, which for those who aspire to reignite Africa to its glory is a big red flag that we need to address. We cannot move forward if the most energetic component of society, which is our youth, is left idle. I think that is the message from the Zulu Kingdom. So most of the deliberations and discussions that will follow through, our hope is that there will be an anchor or a home for conversations around how we decisively or intentionally deal with the issue of a lot of the country's youth sitting at home, having invested their time and energy and money in acquiring qualifications, because that's where the engine of growth is. If that's left behind, we lose the agenda. So lastly, the third pillar is the fact that our traditional leaders or traditional leadership have a spiritual symbolism, which is once again something you find with our beloved cow over there. So in African culture, anything spiritual that had to do with spiritual connection, normally there will be the application of that involves a cow in the mix. So to summarize, our kings, from a spiritual point of view, are a representation, a tangible representation of the Almighty or the Creator. And don't forget, how we got to have kings and queens was because we asked God that we want kings that we can see, because it was too great for the older generations to deal with an all-powerful God. So we requested for you as our kings and queens from the Almighty. So your presence in any gathering, in any discussion, in any decision is really our kings and queens representing what the Lord himself would have done with his people or for his people. So that is the weight I just really want to leave with, first of all, the collective of our traditional leadership, but also with us as the people that are led and that are meant to support our traditional leaders, to say that the amount of reverence and deference we need to put on our traditional leadership is to be able to recognize that they represent the Creator himself. And that needs to be carried through into their decision making and also how we allow ourselves to be led. So with that having been said, I think I'll just round it off now to say that the key imperative from a developmental point of view is, first of all, recognizing the fact that in as much as cultural economies do not necessarily have a lot of financial resources, they have a lot of assets which are under the curatorship and the management or protection of our kings and queens. So I think the time, God being wise as he is, I think he saved that wealth under our kings for difficult times like these, so that hopefully we can have a workaround to some of the challenges that we have, because we have kings, fortunately in this day and age, who are very concerned about the well-being of their communities, and we are very fortunate in that regard. So with the concern that our kings have for our communities, we hope that we can get to initiatives where there's a lot of collaboration between cultures and nations, so that all the interventions that we come up with have got the total support of, first of all, the different nations in the country, the different cultural nations in the country, but also as well as the support of the communities that they're meant to benefit. I think I've said quite a lot on behalf of the kingdom, and I think I'll leave it at this point and just leave a challenge that His Majesty wants to throw at everyone, which is to say, for those who wish to change the world, those who wish to change the nation, it would be nice for you to first show us what you've done for your village. Thank you so much.
Thank you. In SCAL, we action. And I will call His Royal Majesty, because you said it's a disclaimer. We will call him. Now we're going to play a song by Stuart.
Tobela, le kae, le thabile, ya ka letsatsi le botse le kgono. Re tlo bina kaofela ga rena? Ya. A re bina kaofela ra keng Sathane akere. Magosi a rena a go titulo ya bona. Ei!
Satan.
Tsamaya, tsamaya, Satan. Hamba moyo mubi, hamba. Bathi ukuthetha omnyama kuvela ukukhanya. Kwechozi kubele. Bathi qamaku. Thank you once again to our singer, dancer. Without wasting time, a message of support, His Royal Highness King Bulelani Kalobingula. If he's not here, I would like to call a representative from Mzilikazi Kamashobani. Allah, Allah. Allah, Allah.
Greetings to all of you. Ngicela nje ukuthi ngiqale ngihloniphe amakhosi esinawo. Ngihloniphe inhlanganiso SCAL, abaholi bayo bonke. Ngihloniphe zonke inhlaka ezikhona ngezinye indlela nje ngingathi mina all protocol observed. My name is Lukumalo. I'm a prince in the Mzilikazi Royal House. I'm not only traveling alone. I've got my elder brother, Prince Zwitegalanga Kumalo. He's just seated there. He came from Bulawayo in Zimbabwe yesterday. I'm sure you will always know that the Mzilikazi royal family is found on both sides of the border. So we do things together. But this is not about us. It's about the event that we are attending today, which we are really grateful for the organizations that have invited us here. We are the people of Southern Africa. The most important things other than our culture is our heritage, is our land, is our waters. Because where we find that we have land and we have water, we live and we will survive. In the absence of those two things in our hands, we are a dead people. Because what causes us to fight amongst ourselves as different royals and different tribes and clans is the fact that we don't have access to those two things. I can tell you we are in Hattebeer spot, and I'm sure the many people that have access to this water that is surrounding us are not ourselves, but it's controlled and owned by probably other people. It's ours by the fact that we as South Africans, we own this country, but we don't control it. So there are things that we have to do as people, kings and queens, and leaders of our society to make sure that we have access to those two things. I'm not going to say much because we will end up quoting a lot of controversy. But the most important thing that us as Africans hardly realize is that our power is in ourselves as a united people than a divided people. I've seen a lot of things where we're fighting over small things instead of fighting over big things. I think we have to fight when we have actually acquired the big things, not with fighting before we even get something. Let's get the land. Let's get the resources. Let's get the economy. And then we can fight amongst ourselves. But I'm sure there will be enough to go around with ourselves if we fight and get it. So I'm not mandating anybody to go out and loot anything. And I'm not encouraging it. There is a better way that we can work things amongst ourselves. I've attended various meetings here in Gauteng. Every nation here in Gauteng is claiming Johannesburg. Then I'm saying, if Johannesburg is a point that we are fighting about, instead of realizing that Johannesburg is for all of us, then we have a problem as African people, as traditional leaders. There are people today that will prepare to go back to the clan level to say, no, actually this is my clan or this is my tribe. But they forget that the nations that we have built were not built by clans, but were built by the people that actually have a claim to that nation. I stand here today as umntwana wasendlunkulu yakamzilikazi kaMashobana. Zululand is my land. I have a claim in it because my forefathers built the Zulu kingdom. So if today I say I don't belong there because my forefather went and built a kingdom elsewhere, then I am actually rejecting the blood of my forefathers that contributed to the building of that nation. It's the same thing when we were fighting the liberation war. We were fighting as one nation. We were not fighting as different tribes. So therefore, it means we have to call for the tribal unity so that we can achieve what we fought for as people that wanted this independence. Because divided we fall, but united we stand. I leave you with those words, recognizing that the matter is not just the physical matter of us being the actual persons that lead these nations, but there's also the spiritual component that binds us together as African people. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Amantungwa. Amantungwa. Ngiyathoba bonke makhosi, bonke abantwana benkosi. Ngiyabonga. The elder has spoken. I have only few words from Undabezitha Mapega Pezulu, the 7th generation Umzilikazi. He's the one who sent me to be in this midst to support Prof. His Majesty has asked, he's on the doorstep to join the SCAL as I've been always being with you in every level of communication. So I thank you all. Amantungwa! Ambulance.
Ambulasi Amantungwa! Thank you, thank you. A message of support again from, can we get Ambassador Anthony Chinendam, International Association of World Peace Advocates.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is His Excellency Ambassador Anthony Chinedum, the SADC representative of the International Association of World Peace Advocates. I was mandated a few days ago by the World Peace President to come and represent the organization today. I want to thank His Excellency Ambassador Dr. Prof. Mpiani for this great and profound privilege given to us, the AWAPA, the International Association of World Peace Advocates, to be part of today's celebration. Thank you, Your Excellency. Your Majesties, Your Excellencies, distinguished leaders, respective elders, our queens, and the honored guest. I stand today by the International Association of World Peace Advocates with a great and profound and deep reference of this historic occasion of Royal 20. Royal 20 is a platform where heritage meets with vision, where traditions joins with the future. This gathering, according to the message from the World Peace President, is more than a celebration. It is a convergence of destinies. It is a moment where strength of indigenous leadership, the wisdom of sovereign Congress, and the shared aspiration of the African people align with global mission of peace, unity, and sustainable development. Ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency Ambassador Pierre Steffen from Denmark also wish a great presence of the Sovereign Congress of Africa. And in his word, he said, the Sovereign Congress of Africa stands as a beacon of our collective will, a voice that unites kings, queens, and traditional leaders, and the indigenous authorities. He said, you are the keepers of culture, the custodians of history and heritage, the guardians of the values that define us as Africans. Without your guidance and sacrifice, the narrative Africa